So Tim Pool, there's a brief thing with him. Tim Pool has done an interview with Netanyahu in the District of Columbia. And he's working on editing that, I think, before publishing it. So it's not public yet. But immediately after, suspiciously immediately after, he met the Prime Minister of Israel, the greatest country on earth. He has decided to start taking an interesting take on a news thing that has been circulating around. And I will summarize this in very broad strokes. In Texas, there is a tent for members of the team to watch a football game. A member of the opposing team comes over to the tent and sits down. Now, this is a tent specifically for these specific students who are a part of this team. A white boy comes up to the black boy who is sitting down, and he says, "Hey, man, you gotta get up. This tent is not for you." Then the black boy dares him to do something, to touch him. And he does. He does, in fact, the white boy does lay hands on the black boy to physically remove him from this tent. And the black boy responds by taking a knife that he had brought with him to school campus and stabbing the white boy in the heart, killing him. This has resulted in a spike in racial tensions. The black folks on Twitter are immediately taking the side of the black boy, saying that the story cannot be so simple as it is portrayed because black boys don't just kill people randomly. That's preposterous. White people are offended that their lives are worth so little that this can happen every day and nothing is done about it. And then Tim Pool decides that he'll put on his thinking beanie and take a hot take. And this is what he has to say. Assuming that attachments are not going to be broken, which is a... Oh, there we go. Okay, these work. "I'm confused by this story. Are we against self-defense now? If laws are passed banning weapons from a school, you cannot bring one. If someone grabs you and you use the weapon, it's murder, obviously." Tim Pool says, "Nope. If you bring a weapon to a weapon-free zone and someone grabs you, then the weapon is always murder. Everyone else is right. I was wrong. The moment politicians put up a sign saying no weapons, any use of a weapon in that space is murder no matter what, our right to bear arms ends where people vote." So his hot take, literally in the reports, the eyewitnesses, what happens is that the white kid puts his hand on the black kid's arm to pull him from the tent. And the black kid responds to this by murdering him in cold fucking blood. Indisputably not a threat to his life, not an imminent danger, just was pissed off that this white boy dared to try and enforce a rule. So Tim Pool has been coping and singing about this. And in fact, actually, if you give me 1 second, I'm going to pull up this this thing that this idiot fucking posted. It's really crazy how much I just despise Tim Pool now. Like, I had no opinion of him, but every time I see something that he says, I just hate him more. He's posted like 8 million times to try and cover this up because everyone's just fucking raping him in the comments, and he can't deal with it. Okay, so this was the banger. This was his kill shot. He thought that if he posted this, it was over for all the conservatards giving him shit. He says, "I don't care about conservative tribal outrage." So all the white people getting all honkylicious because one of their fellow white men were killed for being uppity and trying to kill a black boy. Kill shot from Tim Pool. "I don't care about conservative tribal outrage." Let's read the arrest report. Austin and the suspect, who is later identified as Carmelo Anthony. Anthony was from Centennial High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what Blank recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin 1 time in the chest and ran away. Austin began grabbing his chest and telling everyone to get help. Blank advised he did not know Anthony's name, but stated another Memorial Track member, Blank, was friends with Anthony and that he could identify Anthony. Blank described Anthony as a black male, skinny, with possibly a goatee, short, puffy hair, and wearing a Centennial High School clothing. So he went to the other team's tent wearing his team's uniform. I was then instructed to start a crime scene log. So, under no possible interpretation does this constitute murder. In fact, if anything, if they had broken out into a fist fight, it probably would have been mutual combat. If you say to somebody, touch me, and then they touch you, you basically consented to this. If someone says, I'll let you punch me one time, but then we're having a fight, you consented to having a fight. That is the law in a lot of states. It's called mutual combat. The Supreme Court has upheld that mutual combat is exonerating for battery, basically. If you agree to have a fight and you have a fight, then it's your fault for saying touch me and see what happens. He invited this and then he killed him. That's just crazy. You just can't interact with certain people. Otherwise they'll just kill you. And then their tribe will take their side. And so will Beanie Man, because he's retarded and bald. My favorite Tim Pool fact, by the way, is that he refuses to stop wearing the beanie, even though everyone knows that he's fucking bald. Because he says, this is true, he claims that the beanie is an anonymizing tool. That when he wears the beanie, he is actually unrecognizable from when he does not wear the beanie. Like, I compare this to Ken Clark's glasses. Like, it's always been a joke that Superman, when he wears his glasses, he's the news reporter, Ken Clark. And when he doesn't wear the glasses, he's Superman. And nobody can put two and two together. So the beanie is like the Superman's glasses. When he wears the beanie, he's hard-hitting investigating journalist Tim Pool. But when he doesn't wear the beanie, he's a humble family man who is unrecognizable in the mean streets of West Virginia. Look, I don't know what Superman's name is. I don't give a fuck. I don't read slop. Stop reading slop. If you know Superman's real name, that's a personal fault. That's your fault.
Thanks for watching this video from Colonel J. My name is Moontrigger, and I approve this message. Remember to like and subscribe.